trying to get sponsorship with Athletic Brewing, non-alcoholic beer. Delicious. Give me some free shit.
Can I try one of those?
Oh yeah, they're fucking awesome.
Thanks, man. Hell yeah.
Athletic Brewing, beverage of champions. See how good that sounds? You know?
It's pretty good.
I just mostly just free shit is all I want, you know. You don't even have to pay me, just give me a bunch of it. It's good, free shit.
Hey, thanks. All right, and with that.
Will, first question. Alright. First off, Will Washington, Fightful, congratulations, champ. Or interim champ, depending on how you want to look at it. John, you once compared your previous win in Chicago at Wintrust Arena in Revolution 2020, when you first won the AEW World Championship, to Christmas morning. And here you are now, walking out of Chicago again, the AEW Interim World Champion. How does this win compare to your previous win in Chicago?
Life is crazy, man. Every time you think like, you know, just in general, you think like the worst thing in the world happened, and then it turns out to be like, years later you look back on it and say, oh, it's a blessing in disguise. Or the best thing in the world happens, or you think this is a big deal, you know? Like you're in some relationship, you think you're gonna be together forever. It turns out like that was fucking 5 girlfriends before you actually met the one you're gonna be together with, or something like that. Meaning like, I mean, I thought it was a pretty cool deal. Last time I won a championship against Chris Jericho, actually in Chicago too. I thought it seemed at the time like a kind of an end to a particular road or a particular story, but it was just the end of a very particular chapter that was like a bunch of chapters ago. And this feels like the end of a particular journey that I didn't even realize I was on. You know, I thought there was so it's just another end of another chapter, but it feels like this feels pretty good, man. Like, because the other, you know, time it was like, oh, okay, I'm pretty hot and fans are pretty with me, and you know, we're going with this, and I'm gonna win the belt. That's pretty cool, you know. That always feels nice. This feels like this feels like I fucking scratched and clawed and fucking fought, and not just in the wrestling ring, but in a lot of other areas of life. And this truly does feel like 3 years of fucking work and in the ring, outside of the ring, in a bunch of different ways, in a bunch of different areas that all seem like it somehow all led up to this that we didn't even see coming fucking 3 weeks ago or some shit. I don't even know if I was on the fucking card, you know, and I'm in the main event. Well, probably.
You're on the card.
Yeah, motherfucker wasn't gonna put me on the card. I am the fucking forbidden door and shit. Motherfucker wouldn't put me on the card.
You were definitely on the card.
Well, I was on the card. No, but like, you know, that's another thing. Is like, as soon as it was like, okay, you're in the main event against Tanahashi, I was like, of course I am. But of course, because it was supposed to be like the whole time. That was my mess. This is my shit, you know. And I love fucking AEW. I love New Japan. You know, I love professional wrestling, but I love both. And you know, I'm so happy just to, even if I wasn't on that show tonight, it would have been cool to just sit back and go and be like, that's really cool that, you know, they were able to have a show together, you know, because it wasn't quite that, there wasn't as much communication as Tony would tell you like a few years ago. But I thought that was stupid, and I'm like, these people are cool, and these people are cool. Let's all just like, can't we just, you know, have some communication? So like, if next year, you know, I don't even need to be on if we do Forbidden Door next year, I don't even need to be on the show. I'll never like top this. This is like, just that it happened and being the main event, it's just, that in itself is crazy that able to pull this together. And, man, and credit to Tony, I'm not just saying that because he's sitting here. Like, I mean, it's really easy to fantasy book, you know, like you're reading a PWI in 1998 and it's WWF versus WCW and go, okay, so we're gonna have Goldberg versus Austin, Rock versus Sting, and like that's real easy to do, but to actually pull off a show like that with 2 companies and to put a card together and make it all work, timing and booking and travel and injury wise, and like, you know, we got hit by some injuries, you know, like Ishii and stuff. To make all that to actually pull that off in reality and pull off the show like was pulled off tonight, it's a huge credit to both sides. It's, you know, just credit all around for, my job was easy, you know, everybody else just pulled off an incredible show tonight. And to say, you know, I said it out there to the fans, like, just like, man, I'm so, like, so fortunate to, like, be here and witness, like, this crazy, like, momentous occasion, you know, with all these, I mean, in this building, you know, you see Michael Jordan play basketball. I'm sure, is that right? That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm sure there are fans watching Michael Jordan play basketball going like, we are seeing something really special, you know? And like, we're gonna be able to say like, we saw Jordan live in person in his prime. And how many fans got to see Tanahashi live in person today, you know, and Okada and Suzuki, and, you know, not even to mention all the great AEW talents, you know, so it's pretty, this is cool, man, it's great, so here. So to answer your question, everything's pretty fucking cool tonight. Cool night.
Got time for a couple more for Jim.
Hi, John, Steve Milhausen from Brazil, and fantastic match tonight, and what's going on, Tony LA? Did the match, this is a match you've thought about for a long time, did it live up to your own expectations?
Oh man, it was just a freaking pleasure, man, to share the ring with, you know, just the one of the absolute greatest in Tanahashi. I mean, like, it sounds real like a generic answer, but just like what a pleasure. Just like it's hard to really put into words too. Like my partner Brian Danielson put this much better than me. He's like, you know, the feeling that, you know, I think we're wired similarly in that, like, the feeling he's always chasing is like that feeling of being in the ring and like when you're doing what you feel like you were put on earth to do, like the absolute pleasure of just being dialed in to doing like what you were here to do, and like the pleasure of just like wrestling, man. And I've had it taken away from me for various reasons, you know, be it without, you know, really getting into, for whatever, you know, either I was hurt or I was in a place that, you know, the situation wasn't optimal, or my life at the time wasn't optimal, and I couldn't just enjoy wrestling. And it's like, it's such a, what a freaking, like, I was thinking it the other night, I wrestled on the show, a few hundred people in Dayton, Ohio, and drove up. Just great crowd, great show, great match, and wrestled Speedball, Mike Bailey for Revolver, and just had this great match, great crowd, whatever. Got in the truck afterward. I was just driving home. It was just like, in such a good, it was going home to my wife and my baby, and like my baby's turning 1, having a little birthday the next day. It was just like drinking one of these, you know, and enjoying, I was listening to UFC playing at the time. Yuri Prochazka, fuck yeah. And I was just like, in such a state of joy, you know, just like, there's no money or ratings or any bullshit, like just the act of wrestling that I get to do it, you know, and I'm just so glad. Like, I was just like, man, and like, and I was thinking like, there's like no fucking drug, and I've tried them all, trust me. There's no drug that can compare to this, you know, and I get to like keep doing this every day, you know, and just keep. So to answer your question, like, fuck yeah, what a feeling to just be out there like with Tanahashi, like, you know. But there was a lot of fucking pressure, and I tried to be like, it's all good, like, you know, pretty good at handling that kind of thing now because I'm like, I kind of been there, done that. Like, and my confidence is such right now. I'm feeling pretty fucking untouchable right now. Like everything just seems to be all coming together, all right at the right time. And I mean, like you got to replace, you know, being a hometown guy in his hometown. You know, that's, you know, people came to see their hometown guy, and you're not the hometown guy. And you got to go in there against maybe the greatest of all time, you know, one of the greatest of all time, and be in the main event of like this amazing show, and you got to follow all these just top of the line, like what a tough spot to be in, you know. And my dumb ass out there, like, really, I'm in this fucking spot, like, I don't, you know, I'm not all that strong or all that fast, or I can't do any flips and bullshit, but I try really hard, you know, and that's what I did tonight. So, it, yeah, it was awesome, man. I was fucking feeling pretty good, man.
Thanks, John.
Yeah, can we get AJ? AJ has one for the champ. AJ, you get John. You're the last guy. You earned it.
First off, my name's AJ from the AJ Awesome Show.
Yeah, you are.
With the Blackpool Combat Club having new member after new member, like Yolarina and Claudio, how has it affected your career in a good, in a positive way or a negative way to have more people surrounding you?
Oh, it's the best thing, man. Like, that's another thing that's just like, this Blackpool Combat Club came together at just like this perfect time, and it's just so good for me, and like, it just fits so perfectly. And like, for instance, Claudio, I mean, it wasn't even a question of like he's basically already, because it's a real thing, you know, it's not this act we're putting on, you know. He's a real student of Regal, and he's a real training partner of mine, former training partner for years. We were developmental together, we traveled together a lot. We've, you know, I said like, hey, you know, I said something once about like, hey, you gotta bleed together if you're gonna be on my team. I wrestled Claudio a million times. I have busted him open on multiple occasions. You can go back and watch that shit on Peacock. I knocked his fucking teeth right down his throat. He wore adult braces for 2 years. You know, so we've been there, and we've been down the road together, you know. I mean, he's like legitimately like part of the group, and like to have that, like I want to keep getting better. Like I feel like right now is also like a jumping off point. Like I can, like this feels like the baseline I've been trying to get to, what I've been picturing in my mind for like 3 years, and it's all starting to kind of become a reality. And I'm like, man, this is like, so here's the baseline starting off point. Like, imagine how good it could get. And I'm surrounded by guys, you know, I love to train, I love to learn, I love to get better. Try stuff out. I love helping other guys too, you know. So I have Wheeler as like a young guy who's more talented than me to use my brain and experience and try to help him and help him get better. And he's a great dude, otherwise he wouldn't be in the group either. We don't let assholes in the group. And to have a dude like that, to be able to help him but also have him push me, because he's, you know, young and hungry, all that, but also like to have Regal who doesn't let anything slide. If I, you know, talked to him after this match, he had like 2 or 3 little things that I could have done better, you know. No congratulations or whatever, no, hey, way to win the belt. No, it was like, you know, you could have done like 3 or 4 things. But I like that. I want, you know, I get plenty of congratulations. I don't need that shit. I need help getting better. And so he doesn't let anything slide. He keeps me sharp and helps me get better. And having Claudio and Brian, who are like 2 of the greatest, you know, I mean, Brian, in my book, Bryan Danielson is the greatest, you know, people say like, Tanahashi's one of the greatest ever, and, you know, Jericho's the GOAT, and we say all this, you know. Just for my money, in my opinion, the greatest professional wrestler to ever live, to ever do it in the ring is Bryan Danielson. and it's crazy because he's my partner. I get to like tag team with him, you know? And also he's one of my favorite wrestlers ever. Like my legit, like on my top list of like 2 or 3, 4, whatever, like he's in that group of like, oh, my favorite wrestlers to watch ever. And it's almost like there's 2 different, there's like one of my favorite wrestlers to watch, Bryan Danielson, who's like right up there with my all-time favorites like Bret Hart and stuff. And then there's like Brian, my friend, who's like all eco-friendly and shit, you know. And you know, he's like a good father and all this, and you know, we have similar interests, we talk and whatever. That's almost like 2 separate people. And sometimes I gotta like pinch myself out there, like I get to team with one of my favorite wrestlers, like all time. That's pretty cool, man. So I mean, if there's ever a guy that's gonna push you and make you better, and like you can't slack off when you're teaming with a guy that good, because you know you gotta. It pushes me. I want to like be like, oh, I can keep up with Brian, and you know I'm pretty good too sometimes, you know. Like so, it makes me want to push myself. And then Claudio, who's just as a physical. I mean, what can you? I'm convinced he's an alien. Like, there's no way that he's like that strong and that fast. And also he's smart, and he's nice, and he speaks 4 languages, and he's got this perfect, crazy superhero body, and like, there's no way. He's like, it's crazy that he's, just his ability in the ring is so good, just one of the most perfect professional wrestlers to ever exist. So I got him pushing me, and we legit like training, and now to have Claudio here every week to be in the ring with him before the show, or you know in the gym or whatever, working on stuff. Like I think we're all gonna push each other and make each other better. I think, you know, a year from now, like the guys in the Blackpool Combat Club, like holy shit. So like with those guys on my side, to answer your question, I think it's just gonna, I think it's gonna be tremendous help to make it be hopefully better and reach another level. It's friggin', it's cool, man, you know?
Thank you.
Thanks, man. That was great. That was easy.
How do we get, I would like to see, because this is last year, check it out. I'm gonna do some fantasy booking. Man tag. Right. We got 3 dudes over here, and on this side, and Darby Allin, we got Sting, and we got the Great Muta. How do we make it happen?
I don't know, you gotta talk to the guys in the back. That's different. You're lucky they like you so much in New Japan. If I said that,
how do we do it?
I don't know, I think he works for the LA, he works for, isn't he like the president of Noah?
Make a call.
Is he not the president of Noah?
Yeah.
I think he's the president of Noah. I don't know if that's.
Everybody would love to see that. Gato would love to see that. Who wouldn't love to see that?
It could be good. I don't know. You know, it could be good. Well, I think maybe something people would want to see.
Dudes with attitudes, it'd be pretty sick.
So one guy who can get away with that, ladies.
I'll leave you with that.
There's one human.
Let's try to make it happen. Also, yeah, maybe. Also, Eddie Kingston would like to fight Jun Akiyama.
I would like to do that.
Where do we do
that? I can do that. I'll do that in America.
Akiyama. Hey, Eddie Kingston's looking for you, my friend. And if you want to bring Sakuraba too, you know, maybe I'll go with him. Sakuraba action.
Battle of the Explorer.
But that, yeah. But most importantly, Jun Akiyama. Eddie's looking for you.
Thanks.
All right.
The best. Thanks. Hey, thanks for